Welcome inside the Broncos studio. I am your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, standing next to our lead writer on DenverBroncos.com, Aric DiLalla. Before we get to day 3 of Broncos camp, big news was announced on Monday as the Broncos have signed wide receiver Courtland Sutton to a 4-year extension. Exciting news for Broncos country, but what does it mean for this offense to have Sutton locked in for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I think Courtland obviously is kind of the go-to guy in this offense, right? He's really good for Bo Nix. He's that dependable, reliable third down target. I mean, you look at what he did last year on third down, and he was #1 in the NFL in first down receptions on third down, receiving yards on third down, and plays of 20-plus yards on third down. And so especially in those big moments, those clutch moments, Courtland Sutton comes alive, and especially over the last 2 seasons, when he's played under Sean Payton, we've seen his catch totals go up, his yardage totals go up, 18 touchdowns over the last 2 years. I believe one of 5 players with at least 8 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. So Courtland is a big-time player on the field and also a leader in this locker room, really important to what this team is doing, a captain, and to have him around now and figure out the contract stuff and be able to move on to football. It's really important.
Well, the tape speaks for itself, and one of the exciting things about that, not only seeing him on the field, but the pads were on today, and that's another exciting part of Broncos camp. I know the players couldn't wait to get that on because the intensity and the competitiveness just kind of, takes it up a notch.
Yeah, I think you could see it was different, right, from whether it was the sled drills, just some of the stuff the running backs were doing. Yeah. You can tell it's a different energy level when the pads come on. Sean Payton said he was pleased overall with how the team handled having pads on for the first time. And he mentioned on Saturday, some guys you see come alive when the pads come on.
Yeah.
Dre Greenlaw is one of those guys, right? Sean said you can hear it when he hits somebody. There were a couple times where he held people up as if he's ready to tackle them. And this is a physical player. We heard Sean Payton say after practice, he's like Mike Tyson. The way he hits you, his physicality is one of the best parts of his game. But he also, I think his athleticism, his range, he moves sideline to sideline so well. He's a player that, as Sean Payton said, if you just put on some film, you didn't know you were watching Dre Greenlaw, pretty soon you're going to be like, who is that?
He's going to catch your attention.
He will. And I think it was just day 1 of pads, but he could be a difference maker at that inside linebacker position. I think we started to see that on Monday.
Yeah, you definitely see how everything is kind of gelling together and how everyone was just vibing out there. That's one of the things that the guys talked about. Like, the vibes are good. Everyone's just on the same page right now. And one of the focus points that a lot of people are looking at are the running backs. They had a pretty good day too.
Yeah, this was kind of the first time you can really start to evaluate the run game is when the pads come on. And Sean Payton did say from a mental assignment standpoint, you can tell pretty early on kind of how guys are picking things up. But you could really start to see who's hitting the hole. RJ Harvey, the rookie that everyone's excited to see, he had one where he cut it back upfield, would have had a nice gain. J.K. Dobbins obviously showed why the Broncos went out and signed him right before the offseason ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether it was offensive linemen getting out in space and making blocks, Malcolm Roach coming up and making a potential tackle for loss. I mean, you saw these guys start to get after it. That's where, again, Greenlaw kind of showed his presence. And today on Monday, as it always is when they put the pads on for the first time, a lot of run game emphasis. It'll be important for the Broncos, certainly both aspects, right? Last year, their run defense got way better. I know they still want to improve there. But then offensively, to get this run game going, whether it's Dobbins, Harvey, Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Bidet, Blake Watson, those are guys that you're going to want to see step up. And it'll be important for the Broncos, not just kind of in total, but especially in the red zone. We've heard the need to run the football well.
Well, this offense, I'm going to say, is a little scary. You look at all the pieces that are coming into play, and a big part of that has my attention is Evan Ingram and kind of what his dynamic style of play can bring to the table.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think just keeps getting your attention, right? On Monday, he made several impressive plays. He's becoming a guy that Bo Nix likes to go to. He feels like a guy that could get the ball a lot this year, and it's worth noting that, whether it's Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham out there, he's finding targets from every quarterback.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that when he gets the ball in space is impressive, also has the ability to make contested catches. I think we saw that on Monday. But overall, Evan Ingram, just a really good addition to this offense. Sean Payton did say, listen, it's early to know, how he's going to pan out as that Joker type player, but all you can evaluate is what you've seen so far. And so far, the returns are promising.
Yeah, I think they're very comfortable with where they are right now. And again, it's only day one of pads being on, but I feel like we're just antsy to kind of see how the picture kind of comes together.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to, Bo Nix said it the other day, like eventually we'll see another team, but right now practicing against each other, I do think they did a good job as well of protecting each other, not getting too aggressive, avoiding those skirmishes. And that's something in general we've seen from Sean Payton-led training camps, is that there's that level of competitiveness, but they don't let it cross the line. So excited to move forward to Tuesday and beyond.
Well, Broncos Country, we have you covered with all the latest. Make sure you guys visit denverbroncos.com.